Hi there. In this lecture we see Mikhail Tal against Segal in 1952 Riga Club Championship. We see the English opening from Mikhail Tal, the Dutch defence and response, knight f3, knight f6, g3, d6, d4, e6, the classical variation of the Dutch, bishop g2, bishop e7, both sides castle, knight c3, c6, queen c2. This is gearing up for e4, but also note, especially in Mikhail Tal's hands, the queen is actually eyeing one of the key soft spots around the king. This is pretty dangerous in Tal's hands. When queen c2 is played, one must think not just positionally but tactically, especially if one is playing over a game of Tal. We see a5, e4. This seems a very logical break in the centre. It does give black a semi-open file to play with, but white has the corresponding semi-open e file. So we have bishop d7, and now h4. So we can see actually the queen might need a hand. If there's a hook on g5, it could help the queen be quite menacing for h7. Knight a6, knight fg5, and really there are some key threats now in this position. Black has to trade carefully and creates a weakness with g6. If knight b4, then can you see what white plays? I hope for 100 points. Yeah, just take on f6, and then queen takes h7 check, and we're already at mate from a positional opening. And it's same with h6, knight takes f6 check. Even if rook takes, we just play check, and then queen h8 mate. So g6 is played. But now, bishop h3, we have queen c8, rook d1, e5. And Tal doesn't mind taking out black's light square bishop. You might think there's a concern about using the think out bishop, but is this actually exploitable weaknesses? Are black's weaknesses on the light squares more exploitable, in fact? Here, we see a very nice attacking move, h5, trying to undermine the kind of shell around the king. Queen e8. And now knight e6 is played. We see black giving up the exchange. Why, you might ask? Why not move the rook? The thing is, if rook f7, h takes, white has a very, very nice tactic based on the queen on c2 and g6. Can you see what that is? 100 points here in this variation. Okay, knight takes d6 would be crushing if followed up correctly with queen takes g6 check, and here definitely not to use the h file, because can you see what black would play here on king g2? Yeah, lose 1,000 points for that, because there's rook takes f2 check and queen takes. But even though that's okay, that could have been tempting for a second, but actually in this position for 100 points, what would you play? Yeah, knight g5. Actually, you're just threatening this, and it's kind of overwhelming. If rook g7, queen takes d6, and that's very, very nice for white. So yeah, black gave up the exchange in the light of that, it seems. So white takes the exchange. And now c5, which gives new opportunities. Now on this diagonal for check, and queen takes b7, and hitting things, like all of these things being hit. We see knight b4. If d takes c5, just to put something on the board here, concretely, check. If queen f7, queen takes b7, it's pretty awkward stuff. All three pieces being attacked. It's overwhelming. It's just a loss of material. If c4, queen takes c4 check is actually interesting for taking and just being the exchange up with a big advantage. So, okay, we have actually knight b4 in response. Queen b3 check, d5, a3. Yeah, black is crumbling here. We see king h8. Okay, this unpins and means d takes is threatened, but Tal just plays knight d6. Black's position is extremely fragile. Black actually resigned here. If bishop takes d6, c takes, queen takes, we're just going to take the knight, but otherwise, if the knight steps back, yeah, we're back to queen takes b7, attacking all of these pieces. Okay, there might be queen c8, but even so, it's just the exchange up for white. When you have a rook, you know, against the knight, the exchange up like this is pretty crushing. So, for example, bishop f4, and also, of course, there's the pawn on d6, no trivial matter. White's got constant pressure here, and is actually threatening things like rook takes d5 as well. So yeah, this would be a completely lost position. So the game actually ended on knight d6. So yeah, the queen being a menace on b7 here as well. Yeah, crushing game. It shows actually when Tal plays a move like queen c2, we can start to see a pattern that actually, even from a kind of more positional opening than 1e4, there are implications for the opponent's soft spots, how to put pressure on the opponent's king side. It seems to be a priority in Tal's mind, as expressed by this game. Great attacking stuff on the king side here. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks very much.